What's up, gamers? It's Nova, your favorite virtual adventurer, and welcome back to a Splash Up, a series where I talk about the games I complete on stream and share my general thoughts on the experience I had with them. Today, I am going to be talking about Planet Crafter and all of its DLC. We just finished this on stream not too long ago, and I have a lot to say about this game that I've been holding in. I'm so excited to share it with you all. So grab a snack and tuck in. This might be a long one. And as a disclaimer, this video will contain spoilers for the game Planet Crafter. Though I will argue that this is a game that's more about the gameplay loop than the story. The story is more supplemental to the gameplay experience. So watch at your own discretion. So what is Planet Crafter? Planet Crafter is a first-person survival crafting game. You are a convict, and as a convict, you are part of the Planet Crafter program set up by Sentinel Corp. Sentinel Corp sends you to a planet and they say, hey, terraform this planet and we'll write off your sentence or cut off a certain amount of years. So you land in this little pod and you have nothing. You just have a little multi-tool scanner item and you slowly build up from here. The core gameplay loop is essentially that you are, collecting materials on the planet, going back to your little pod, building up new tools, new stuff. And in order to terraform the planet, you have to build up things like heat, pressure, and oxygen. There's different things that you build to enhance these stats. You can make a little base, right? Like a little home. And then in there's screens that track this information as well, so you can actually see what you're doing. Now, the way this game works is you unlock things by doing other things. So I don't remember how it starts, but let's say you only have drills at the start. So that's going to help your pressure meter go up. As your pressure meter goes up, you unlock, let's say, a heater. Now you can start doing heat. Okay, you start doing heat, now you can start doing oxygen. And then as you start unlocking things in these tech trees, you start unlocking other things. You start unlocking things for your base. You start unlocking things to make exploration easier, better backpacks. Maybe a jetpack. Eventually you can get a rover, like a farm to get better food. New crafting recipes for things that you normally couldn't craft to begin with, like super alloy, one of the most precious materials early game, and God, even late game. I never had enough super alloy. But the gameplay loop is basically okay, here is your task, work on this, and then you work on that. It's like, hey, you unlocked this. Okay, I'll go work on this now. Oh, that just unlocked this. Oh, we'll work on this now. It keeps giving you more stuff. And just when you think that there's nothing to do, you can go explore the map. You can go find new materials. You can go find new areas. You can build a new base. And all the while, all of these stats, all the heaters, all the drills, all this is working in the background, and it's automatically increasing the terraformation status. And eventually you get higher tiers of these things, so then you can upgrade the things, or you can build new ones, and then that'll make things go faster. And it's just a funny number go up game, and I love it. I love every second of it. Now, that alone is okay, that seems kind of fun, right? What makes it even better is you start off on a barren planet. I found this cool VRChat map. It kind of looks like this in terms of it's very barren. There's not grass or anything, it's just rock and sand and dust. But as you terraform, as you start building up those stats, it starts to come to life. You start to see liquid water forming. Rain starts falling from the sky. It starts filling out lakes. Eventually there's vegetation. Eventually there's bugs. Eventually, that area that was a barren, frozen wasteland is now teeming with life, with flowers everywhere and rivers flowing through and waterfalls in the distance. Eventually frogs start spawning on the land, and you keep on progressing. You keep seeing the planet come to life. Even revisiting old areas, there's things you can only access when you reach certain terraformation levels. And there's evidence of other people having come here before, having tried this terraformation process and failing before you. You get to read their stories a little bit, see what they went through, and kind of be no, I'm gonna pick up where they left off. I'm gonna make this happen. And it's honestly just so fascinating to just watch this world around you just come to life. I'm gonna throw 2 screenshots up on screen right now. This is at the start of the game. This is the main planet when you're done. That's cool. It's so, you get to watch it happening in real time. You get to actually see that the things that you're doing actually have an impact. It's actually doing good. It's actually making life on this planet. And there's something really satisfying about that, especially as you're building up your base over time. You're just doing so much. Oh my God, it's so addicting. I had a phenomenal experience with this game, and as you get in later, there's a lot of automation as well. Some people love automation. Here you go. It has that too. You can get drones that can automatically move things between storage containers. Like if you have like a miner that's pulling up like titanium, you can have drones come and pick that up and bring it back to your base. There's rockets for trading things with things in outer space, and eventually when you go to other planets, you can trade things between different planets. Like it, God, it's so intuitive, it's so involved. There's also like an ancient alien civilization that came before you called the Wardens. You kind of learn about their story. You find their kind of like hidden locations and like learn about what they were doing and why they left. And then you get to choose one of 3 different endings at the end of Prime, which is the main planet. And like, you know, they're kind of interchangeable. They're all right. The endings are not much to write home about. It's just kind of like 3 lines of text and like, oh, you did it. But I think that the real journey is like the self-satisfaction you feel for doing such a good job, honestly. Now, the one thing that I do feel like this game kind of struggles with is at the end stages of the terraformation process, it starts to drag a little bit. I didn't have this problem on Prime, the starter planet, as much as I did with the other ones, but I feel like once you've done everything you can, once you've maximized your terraformation as much as you can, it's just a waiting game. You might have already explored the whole planet, you've done everything there is to do, you've set up all the farms you can, maybe you want to do more, but it seems like it's kind of, you know, detrimental returns, but at that point you're just sitting at a screen like, come on, just get to the terraformation, come on, you're almost there. And that's the only part that I feel like kind of dragged on for me. I feel like if there was more stuff that unlocked at the later stages of terraformation, it would be a little bit more compelling, even if it's just a new area to explore or a new little piece of lore, or maybe just a new, like, convenience quality of life item. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the core gameplay experience of Planet Crafter and of Planet Prime. Prime was a wonderful planet. It had so many different biomes, so many different areas, so much to explore, so much story. And after that, we took off to, I believe it was Selenea was our next one, which is the first free DLC, a moon. I think it might be base game. Selenea was interesting. You know, it was a moon basically. And it's the one that I remember the least. I just remember that there were like different buildings that were around the moon that only unlocked once you reach certain levels of terraformation. Now, I also want to add too, some of these planets you can choose as a starter planet and start from scratch. We opted to just keep going from our same save, so we did have a little bit of an edge of having high-level stuff basically to go through the planet. So that may have changed our experience a little bit. But yeah, Selenea, it was all right. You know, it was another one of those ones too where it's like you start on a barren planet, you get through, you start to learn the lore of the people who were here before you. Eventually, it's a little bit more lush. It's a little bit more beautiful. For me, I feel like Selenea was kind of on the weaker end of things. It was fun, and the buildings that you explored were pretty cool, but After that, we went to Aqualis, which we ended up doing in one stream. It was one long 7-hour stream, but you start on an ocean planet with just a couple of islands, and as you terraform, more islands spring out of the ocean, and then you can go over and explore them. I thought this concept was really cool, but I felt it was also kind of weak. And I know what I just said about Selenea, but I think Aqualis might actually rank lower than Selenea for me, because the way it worked was once you went to one of the islands and explored, you get some resources, and then that's really it. You would have no incentive to go back to that island other than maybe I'll make a pretty base here. But we didn't really feel that incentive. You know, we had our main base. We really liked what we were doing with it. So there's really no reason to go off and build more or to, like, I don't know, no reason to stay over there. We set up a couple miners maybe for the resources were there, but that was it. We ended up terraforming that, like I said, in one stream, and then we were done. So I didn't feel any strong attachment for Aqualis. The next one we did was Humble, which is the first paid DLC. This one came out earlier on in the development, and this felt like more Planet Crafter. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but I also don't mean it in a good way. So Humble was good. I enjoyed it. I've heard mixed reviews from people who have played it, so I kind of went into it a little wary, but as someone who really enjoyed the core gameplay loop of Planet Crafter, it was more Planet Crafter. It was fun. On this one, you have, I don't remember the name of the company, but there was a bunch of robots. There was like a robotics company who came to this planet first, and you from Sentinel Corp are coming here to basically claim it, and it was kind of up in the air who really has ownership of Planet Humble. Is it this technology company, or is it Sentinel Corp? So as you start reading the lore, you start learning again what happened here. In the end, you get to basically make your choice. Do you side with this, robotics company, or do you go back to Sentinel Corp and see your family again? I don't know. They're like a scummy militaristic company, Sentinel Corp is, so can you really trust a word that comes out of their mouth? But the thing with Humble is there were some buildings around the planet. Now that I'm sitting here talking about it, I don't recall that much about Humble. Let me look at my screenshots that I took of Humble. That'll kind of spark my memory. Okay, I've refreshed my memory. Humble was pretty good. Like I said, it had these buildings that you could travel between. They were a lot more involved than the ones that were on Selenea. There was a lot more to do inside these buildings. There was a lot more lore going on. Again, with the robotics company versus Sentinel Corp. I felt like the map itself was also a lot more interesting than the previous DLC moons that we have done, or the DLC planets that we've done. Because on this one, there was like a gigantic crater in the middle of the map. There was like a couple of plateaus you could go up on. There was a big valley down below caught in a sandstorm that eventually filled up with water. Like, the map itself was pretty dynamic. And there was also a kind of a gimmick where there was these, I don't remember, I think it was like bauxite, I don't remember. There was 3 different materials you could find there, and that's how you got your basic materials like iron, titanium, cobalt, like your basic building blocks, was to break down these materials into them, which, that's all right. I didn't really care for the mechanic itself, and eventually we ended up having automation that made it all pretty boring, honestly. But overall, I feel like Humble probably ranked a little bit higher than both Selenea and Aqualis. So right now it's number 2 on my ranking, but it's about to be topped. In the end, we ended up trying both endings. Again, it was just a couple words of dialogue difference, but after that, we set our sights on the final paid DLC, Toxicity. A toxic wasteland covered in toxic sludge, pollution. It was a bad place to be, all right? Now, it was on this planet that we learned some very good lore, and there was a really fun mechanic as well. I'm just going to say it right now, I would rank this as number 2 on my list. I still think the Prime experience, the first planet, was my favorite, but Toxicity, phenomenal DLC. If you haven't played it and you like Planet Crafter, play the Toxicity DLC. So the main gimmick, right, is that because of the pollution, you are limited on what you can actually craft, even if you're late game. As you purify the planet more, you're able to build more things. And there's a whole new mechanic with like toxic goo. There's water, like the lakes are also need to be purified. So you have to set up like specific buildings for that kind of stuff. There's also like the atmosphere purifier. Like there's so many different little like aspects to purifying the planet on top of terraforming it. So you're doing both purification, terraformation side by side at the same time. And that was super fun. Like, you literally, the way I described it when I was playing is the way you clean up the sludge felt very Super Mario Sunshine. You would go to an area, there'd be really bad air pollution, so you would have to leave before the radiation got to you. But you would use your little scanner tool and, like, basically zap the little piles of goo. And once all the piles of goo were gone, that area was purified, and you could walk through it safely. So you're basically purifying these toxic zones to explore more, and then to find more resources in those areas, and to purify the planet so that you can terraform the planet better. It all worked really well together, and the planet itself was really fun to explore. It kind of felt like a Prime version 2, in a sense, in that it was a big barren wasteland, but it had some pretty unique dynamic zones. There was like a jungle area, there was like the northern ice cap where we started, some cave systems you could go through, a gigantic lake by a dam, like a reservoir that was set up, and there were signs of like the people who came here before who set up a massive operation on this planet, and you're basically seeing the ruins of what they were working on. And you find out that this is the planet where the Planet Crafter program, like the one to send convicts to terraform planets, this is where that was originated. This is where it started. This was the first. This is where the idea came from and where they started to do it. Like, that's cool. They tied it into the base game lore in such an interesting and unique way. But all good things must come to an end. As we traveled around the planet, purifying all the goo, terraforming our way up. Eventually, we did it. We purified and terraformed the planet fully. We got these freaky little dog frog creatures roaming around, and that was it. We were done, and we finished Planet Crafter. This was a really fun experience. I'm really glad I played this game. My previous experience with this game was playing with my ex, my partner at the time of getting the game. She was super into it, so I played with her, and obviously it didn't work out between us. So it was just sitting there in my library until my buddy Dave, he decided, like, let's play through Planet Crafter. And it's now very much our game, and I'm so glad I picked it back up, because what a phenomenal game. We started this journey back in March. It's now July. We finished it, I think it was, what is today, the 10th? So yesterday, the 9th, we finished Planet Crafter once and for all. And now there's a DLC coming out, Skio. We don't know when that's coming out, but it's going to be a new planet. I'm hoping it's the big purple planet in the sky, because I want to go to the purple planet. And there will probably be an updated Splash video on my thoughts on the planet Skio. So stay tuned for that when it comes out. Go follow me, twitch.tv/NovaRedux, if you want to see it when it goes live. We're going to be switching to Palworld 1.0 now over on Twitch from Planet Crafter. So if you want to see some Palworld action, go drop by. We've probably already started by the time you're seeing this video. And we'll be live tonight, actually. Tonight, as of you watching this video, at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That maybe 7:30, probably 7:30. Or wait, no, maybe it's tomorrow, because if I'm doing this right, yeah, come in tomorrow. Or just join the Discord. Join the Discord. I have everything's there. You can keep up to date there. And if you want to take a look at what the Planet Crafter gameplay looks like, go drop by my VOD channel, No VOD Redux. I upload all my VODs there roughly within 2 days of streaming, and all of my playthroughs are on that channel. Anything that you see a splash of video of on this channel exists on that VOD channel. So consider checking it out. Let me know what you think. Don't watch the whole thing. It's so long. But yeah, enjoy some of the gameplay, the footage that I have over there. I'm really glad I went on this journey. I feel like I found a new favorite game. Maybe not a favorite of all time, but it's up there on the list. It's definitely a 10 out of 10 experience for me. Oh, and sorry, I just want to shout out, this was made by 2 people. This was made by 2 people, this game. Phenomenal work. Phenomenal fucking work, honestly. And I'll see you guys in the next one, on some other virtual world, in some other planet, doing some other bullshit, who knows. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye!